The story begins in a quiet mountainous area where a reclusive boy named Carag lives with his family. Carag is not like any other boy. He has the power to transform into an animal. He often lives in the form of a puma, a wild cat. Carag can transform into a human, but his family refuses to see him as a human. He has a very strict rule in his life. He must never go near humans. They fear they might harm him. Because of this, they live in the mountains, away from humans. As Carag grows, he becomes more questioning. He begins to think about humans and wants to know the reason. One day, he breaks the rules. He leaves his family and goes among the humans. Soon, a kind human couple finds him. They think Carag is a lost child. Out of pity, they decide to adopt him. Now Carag has a new family and home. Initially, everything seems fine. During breakfast, he watches the news on TV. The news is frightening. Animals are attacking people in strange ways. Animal behavior is unusual, and accidents occur. They are happening. No one knows why. Carag feels a strange nervousness inside. He feels like he already knows all this. He gets ready for school that day. He says goodbye to everyone. He gets in the car with his mother, Anna. His sister also plans to come along. She doesn't want to leave the trip. On the way, he feels something is wrong. Two black crows fly over their car. They don't go away. They relentlessly follow them. Carag keeps looking at them. A thought comes to his mind. He wonders if they are like him. He suspects they might be shapeshifters too. They stop at a hotel for the night. He thinks the fear will go away, but it doesn't. At night, a strange sound wakes him up. He peeks outside quietly. The sight he sees frightens him. He sees wolves running. Then the lights on the building in front go out. He becomes very frightened. He understands that all this is happening. It's not normal. In the morning, they resume their journey. After a long journey, they arrive at the school. As he gets out of the car, he's surprised. The same crows are there, now disguised as human students. He realizes his suspicions were correct. Before he can act, Principal Lissa arrives, smiling. She greets him. She looks at Anna carefully. She asks, "How did you find him?" Anna tells the whole story. Carag's real parents are unknown. This all happened a long time ago. Anna was a social worker at the time. She received a call for help for the child. Carag was terrified and trembling. She couldn't leave him, so she brought him home and convinced her husband. As Carag grew up, he began to feel different. During middle school, Anna received a letter inviting Carag to Clearwater, where he was attending school. She believed this school would help. Lissa understands. She takes him aside and reveals the truth. All the students are shapeshifters. Now she doesn't have to be afraid. She feels a sense of belonging. Just then, an alarm goes off. She goes outside. She sees something wrong. They're in a restricted area. Lissa gets angry. She sends them out. Carag is shocked. This is the first time he's seen something like this. He bumps into Jeffrey. The situation escalates. A fight seems imminent. Soon after, the school holds an official welcome ceremony. When it's over, Anna hugs Carag and says goodbye. She and Melody walk back to the car when Andrew arrives. Andrew is a rich and powerful man. He funds the entire school. A little while later, Carag meets Andrew. During their conversation, Carag confesses something very personal. He says he left the mountains because he felt there was more to life than just being a puma. If he had stayed there forever, he would never have known who he really was. Carag returns to his dorm room in a place called Terre. Lissa explains the school rules and then leaves. Suddenly, a squirrel appears at his window, accompanied by music. Carag lets the squirrel into the room and realizes it's no ordinary squirrel. The squirrel is actually Holly. Holly has been sent to help Carag and guide him through the first transformation class. The teacher in the class issues a serious warning. Students can only use their powers during class. The most important rule is that humans must never witness them transform. Carag is then asked to demonstrate his powers in front of everyone. But before Carag can transform, Brandon steps in. Brandon is a boy who can transform into a bison. He transforms into a bison, but he can't stay in human form for long. He loses control, causing a commotion in the room. This creates doubt in Carag's mind. He feels that his animal side is gone. That's why he doesn't change. With Lissa's help, he begins to remember his past life. He remembers roaming freely in the forest with his real family. These memories touch his heart deeply. They awaken something within him. Finally, Carag transforms. At that very moment, the principal asks everyone to transform. Then Carag understands the truth. He learns that most of the students in the school are wolves. Lissa tells him what his real job is. Here, he will learn to balance both human and animal forms. In the future, he can become a bridge between humans and animals. That evening, Carag sits in his room and tries to understand everything that has happened so far. Just then, Brandon arrives with music. Brandon tells them straight away that he will now be staying in the room with Carag. A short while later, Holly knocks on the door and announces that it's time for dinner. At the dining area, Carag meets Dorian, who can transform into a cat. Dorian tells his story. Before school, he lived as a pet in a human home. Everything was fine, but when the humans saw him opening boxes with his bare hands, problems arose. After Krog's transformation, some students respect him, but others are afraid of him. Weaker students are afraid to even stand near him. A little boy, who can transform into a small horse, tries to remain silent, but he encounters Jeffrey and his pack of wolves. The situation quickly becomes dangerous. Krog, without thinking twice, moves forward to help the little boy, but this only makes things worse. The wolves scare him, but James arrives just in time to stop the fight. Krog dreams of his family, but a loud noise awakens him. Brandon transforms in his sleep, destroying his bed. Brandon laughs and says this happens a couple of times a week. Krog understands that nights won't be peaceful here. The next day, Brandon and Borda are selected for fighting class, but Brandon refuses. He says he doesn't fight and leaves. The teacher then chooses Krog. Krog, still unsure of himself, sees this, and Andrew steps forward and gives him a small pouch. Inside the pouch is Puma urine. As soon as he smells it, something inside him changes. He instantly transforms. Despite Borda being larger, Krog is much faster. He attacks with full force and intent. In the end, Krog wins. Then Dorian fights, but the smell makes him flee. At the end of class, Andrew approaches Krog. Happy with what he saw, he offers to take him on. Andrew wants to make him his apprentice. To show his trust, Andrew even gives him the bag. He says Krog has a bright future, but everyone is unhappy. Jeffrey stands at a distance, watching. Seeing the new student getting attention, Jeffrey becomes jealous and challenges him. Jeffrey says they won't bother him if Krog wins. In the afternoon, Krog tells his friends everything. Brandon is afraid and tells them that fighting could lead to punishment. But Krog, tired of enduring humiliation, refuses to back down. Holly promises to support him. Despite his fear, Brandon believes that the wolves deserve a lesson. At night, Krog, Holly, and Brandon quietly leave the dormitory. Before leaving, Krog smells a bag of Puma urine, which awakens his animal form, and he transforms. Upon reaching the battle site, Krog asks who he will face. There's no way to continue the fight. Retreat is the only option. Jeffrey is defeated in the fight. In the morning, James sees that several students are injured, so he immediately sends them to the infirmary for treatment. The students' excuses for their injuries don't seem credible at all. It becomes clear that these injuries are from the fight the night before. Just as Krog is about to be taken to the principal, something unexpected happens. Andrew asks Krog to ride with him in the car. While in the car, Krog realizes that Andrew already knows the entire incident. Andrew tells Krog the whole truth. A real puma is so strong that it shouldn't have needed help fighting 4 wolves. Because Krog was separated from his real family at a very young age, he never learned to hunt. Therefore, Andrew decides to teach him how to hunt. Andrew wants Krog to become a strong and skilled hunter. When they return, Lissa stops them on the way. Angrily, Lissa warns Andrew not to give Krog any special privileges. Lissa herself issues a stern warning to Krog. If Krog wants to stay at school, he must obey all the rules and not fight again. Later, Holly and Brandon begin monitoring him. Meanwhile, Krog sees Lou heading towards the forest and decides to follow him. On the way, they overhear teachers discussing recent animal attacks. The teachers are convinced that these attacks are being carried out by shapeshifters. If humans learn the truth, peace between the human and animal worlds will be shattered. Therefore, Lissa and the council are determined to stop these attacks at all costs. On their way, Krog confesses a crucial truth. He reveals that he saw wolves attacking humans in a city. Krog is confident that those wolves belong to Jeffrey's pack. The next day, Andrew fulfills his promise and takes Krog to the forest. Andrew trains Krog in hunting. He explains the 3 steps of hunting: selection, observation, and timely attack. Krog succeeds and kills a deer. They both eat the meat. On their way back, Andrew shares his heartfelt secret. He reveals that he had a daughter. If his daughter were alive, she would have been Krog's age. During the break, Lou notices that Krog hasn't eaten. Krog explains that he hunted and ate that morning. Hearing this, Lou becomes silent and leaves. Lou remembers the puma attack on her mother. In remorse, Krog follows it, but is unable to speak to it. At night, Krog hears howling outside. The sound is from Jeffrey's pack. Suspicious, he follows them to town. He sees wolves scare the guards and enter the factory. When he goes to stop them, they attack him. Andrew arrives before the fight begins. Andrew stops everyone, puts the wolves in the car, and takes them to school. Andrew then wants to speak to Krog alone. The whole truth is revealed. Andrew confesses that he is behind the attacks. Krog is deeply shocked to hear this truth. Krog feels betrayed. Andrew then recounts his painful past. He explains that a hunter killed his wife and daughter. From that day on, he began to hate humans. Andrew believes that humans have harmed nature and animals. The council has tried for many years to guide humans. Their efforts were in vain. The situation only worsened, so Andrew decides to take action himself. During dinner, a woman serves food. Carag sees that one of its legs belongs to a machine. Andrew explains that it is actually a snake that was hit by a car. Andrew asks Carag to join his mission. Carag refuses, clearly stating that he does not believe in violence. Andrew says his intention isn't to kill people. He just wants to destroy their machines and slow down projects that destroy animal habitats. Carag asks for time to think and agrees to keep it a secret for now. The next morning, he helps Brandon train. The bison runs wild. Suddenly, a car hits Brandon. The car belongs to Carag's adoptive parents. Frightened, he takes them inside to keep the matter under wraps. In the room, Anna sees a squirrel uprooting things. The principal scolds him, reminding him of the rules. Anna invites him to go with her on the weekend. Carag happily agrees. Later, Andrew invites him to a special event. Carag again refuses, saying he doesn't support harming humans. Andrew quietly hangs up. A frightened Carag goes into the forest. Sometime later, Wing sees him in a distressed state. Suddenly, a drone is seen overhead. Wing immediately recognizes it. This drone belongs to a hunter, and the dogs have been released. Carag hides to save his life. He runs through the trees, yet the drones refuse to give up their pursuit. To save Carag, Wing destroys the drones and urges him to keep running. Carag collapses, exhausted from running for so long. Just then, Shadow arrives and gives him clothes so he can become human again. Carag, along with his friends, begins to return to school. Before reaching school, he faints. Andrew finds him and takes him home to rest. Upon regaining consciousness, Carag informs Andrew about the hunters. A frightening thought comes to his mind. He fears the same fate might befall his real family. This fear changes his thinking and decisions. He decides to join Andrew's plan and fight. Before the first mission, Andrew reveals a shocking revelation. He has sent people to find Carag's real family. He promises that if they survive, they will be found. Just then, Carag receives a call from Anna. Anna cancels the trip and cites an urgent matter. Just then, Brandon and Holly arrive, worried. They try to talk to him, but he begins to distance himself from them. He then goes to the mine with Andrew and the team. Upon arrival, Andrew assigns everyone different tasks. Carag is responsible for driving away the animals. Jeffrey and the wolves have to get the workers out safely. First, he drives away the rabbits, then makes a frightening discovery. He realizes his parents are nearby. Terrified, he immediately calls Andrew. Andrew offers false assurances that they are safe. Carag remains suspicious. The workers flee in fear in the truck. As soon as the humans leave, Derek begins to drop logs. Carag begs him to stop. The falling logs could kill his family. Brandon and Holly support him. The situation becomes more dangerous. Shadow and Wing are seen in the air. The wolves become frightened. Fearing capture, they flee. Lou tries to stop Derek. She explains that violence will only worsen the situation. Derek refuses to listen. He pushes Lou. The crows attack in anger. Derek transforms into a bear. Brandon defends his friends. Holly also starts fighting. Carag, transformed into a puma, throws Derek out. Just then, Andrew arrives. He removes the logs blocking the truck. The truck begins to move. Carag realizes Andrew is cheating. A fight breaks out between them. Logs are falling toward his family. He abandons the fight and runs. The logs fall rapidly. Anna screams, but Melody doesn't hear them because she has headphones in her ears. She realizes the danger too late. The logs are too close. She screams in fear. At the last second, Carag, still in Puma form, jumps forward and pushes him out of the way. Anna Melody runs to him, relieved to see him alive. Melody, trembling, says that a Puma saved him. Her father says she's probably imagining it. A while later, Lou and the others find Carag lying unconscious in the woods. For a terrifying second, they think he's dead. Then the big cat opens his eyes. Everyone is relieved. As soon as he can move, Carag runs to see his family. Just then, Andrew arrives. Pretending to have arrived just in time, he quickly calls a helicopter to take the family to the hospital. Everyone is safe. Once the parents are safe, Carag becomes angry. He threatens to tell the truth. Andrew reveals a new threat. He has found Carag's real family in the Yellowstone Mountains and will reveal their location only if Carag remains silent. Just then, Lissa arrives. Andrew blames Derek. Lissa remains suspicious, but the police sirens are approaching. She promises to investigate. Back at school, Carag and his friends are welcomed as heroes. Word of what they did spreads, but behind the applause, Carag knows the truth. The real danger remains.